Today, we're talking about a massive shift in how we actually create and interact with information. Honestly, we're moving way past the era of the basic text chatbot. We're digging into Google Gemini Omni to see how it operates not just as a text generator, but as a full-blown multimodal creative partner. One that intuitively understands the world almost exactly like we do. So, let's jump right in.
Think about your workflow right now for a second. You probably have the old, kind of painful ways of creating content in mind, right? Jumping between 5 different software tools, painstakingly trying to match audio to video, or spending hours tweaking complex text prompts just hoping the AI finally gets what you mean. Well, what if your AI didn't just read text? What if it could actually see a quick drawing, hear a music track, and then literally create a fully realized video from them? We're shifting from this world of manual, fragmented creation to a seamless future where AI is basically a visionary collaborator sitting right there by your side.
What exactly is Gemini Omni?
Okay, the absolutely crucial word here is Omni. It stands for a natively multimodal architecture. Now, in the past, if you wanted an AI to look at a video, you had to use a specific vision model. If you wanted it to listen to audio, you had to go find a separate audio model. It was clunky. Gemini Omni completely gets rid of the need for separate models. It processes text, images, audio, and video natively, all together in one single context window. It experiences that data simultaneously, which means it intuitively gets the relationship between sight, sound, and motion right out of the box. Now, Google obviously has a few heavyweight AI models, and I want to clear up any confusion right off the bat by comparing Gemini Omni directly to Veo. Veo is Google's dedicated video generation model. If you want something optimized purely for breathtaking cinematic quality and stunning visual fidelity, Veo is your guy. It paints a gorgeous picture. But Gemini Omni? Gemini Omni is optimized for multimodal reasoning and world knowledge grounding. It doesn't just make things look pretty. It actually reasons about how the physical world works, physics, logic, the whole shebang, and it structures those complex inputs before handing them off to be rendered.
Moving on to Section 2, Directing from a Sketch.
Let's look at how this works in practice with a 3-stage pipeline. Say you literally draw a 30-second napkin sketch of a building, and you put a dotted flight path going around it. In Stage 1, Gemini Omni uses its vision capabilities to interpret that sketch. It actually reads your spatial intent, like where the camera starts, its altitude, the direction it's moving. Then, in Stage 2, it translates that spatial interpretation into a highly structured, cinematic text prompt. And finally, in Stage 3, that perfect prompt is fed right into Veo, which generates the actual footage. Guys, you don't need to be a prompt engineer anymore. You literally just need a pen.
This brilliantly shows the level of control you have now. Gemini understands professional cinematic directions straight from your messy sketches. You want a dolly, a truck, a pan, or a tilt? You just draw the arrows. If you draw a circular path around an X on a top-down map, the AI translates that curved arrow into a sweeping, dynamic drone orbit shot. You get to bypass all the complex camera jargon, no need to rent a giant crane or hire a drone pilot. You communicate your vision visually, exactly like a real director mapping out a scene.
But the magic really doesn't stop once the video is generated. Like, what happens if it's not quite right? Well, you don't start from scratch. Because you're working with Omni, prompting is an iterative conversation. You can look at the output and literally just tell it, change the camera angle to be over the violinist's shoulder. Or, and this is wild, because it natively understands both audio and video, you can give it an audio track and say, hey, sync the apartment lights to the music. It preserves what works in your video and intelligently adjusts the rest. It's a real game changer.
Let's pivot to Section 3, your everyday productivity assistant.
Check out the immense breadth of Google Workspace integrations here. Think about these real-world use cases. A retail associate doesn't need to go digging through 20 folders anymore. They can just ask Gemini in their Drive side panel to instantly pull up and summarize the new return guidelines. Or a sales manager staring down a massive 100-page RFP. They can just ask Gemini to analyze the whole thing and extract only the budgets and deadlines in seconds. Or a content creator can use it to brainstorm marketing tactics and instantly draft A/B test ad copy. It's like having a brilliant collaborator living right inside your email and spreadsheets.
And for those really heavy-duty tasks, we have deep research. Notice how everything connects here. This isn't just a search engine where you mindlessly click links. This acts as an agentic assistant. It automatically browses hundreds of websites on your behalf. But it doesn't stop at the web. It pulls context from your own Gmail, your Drive files, your chat history. It actually operates in a continuous reasoning loop. It searches, reads, thinks, and then synthesizes all of it into a multi-page, genuinely insightful report in minutes. For students and professionals, this is literally going to save hours, if not days, of manual busywork.
Quick pause here for a fun little visual Easter egg.
If you scan that QR code, it's going to take you directly to Google's Comprehensive Prompting Guide 101. Look, as we've seen, getting the absolute most out of an AI collaborator requires knowing how to talk to it effectively. This guide is just an incredible resource to help you level up your communication with Gemini so you can guarantee you're getting exactly the outputs you're looking for. Highly recommend grabbing that before we move on.
Section 4. The ultimate creative amplifier.
One of the absolute coolest examples of this is native avatar generation. And this isn't some clunky third-party add-on, it is built right in. Businesses can create a consistent synthetic brand presenter using just a single reference image and a script. Think about the implications for a second. You can spin up personalized videos at scale for different clients. You can do seamless language localization, meaning your presenter delivers the exact same message in 10 different languages perfectly without ever having to reshoot the video. It's a massive, massive leap in how we scale content.
But here is the real reason why all of this actually works for serious, professional applications. World knowledge grounding. I mentioned this a minute ago, but let's drill down. Most video AIs just generate stuff that looks visually plausible based on learned patterns. Gemini Omni, on the other hand, is grounded in real-world facts, physics, and logic. If you're creating a training video or a business presentation, your content can't just be pretty. It has to be factually accurate.
There's this quote from the research that perfectly sums up our entire journey today. The evolution of Gen AI is redefining human-computer interaction, creativity, and the information landscape. And honestly, they hit the nail on the head. Multimodal AI is no longer this futuristic sci-fi concept waiting in the wings. It's a present-day creative amplifier. It's sitting in your workspace ready to synthesize your emails, and it's sitting in your studio ready to turn your messy napkin sketches into cinematic drone footage.
Which leaves us with the single most important takeaway from this entire explainer. The barriers to creating incredibly high-quality, complex, and thoughtful content, they've fundamentally vanished. You don't need a massive budget anymore. You don't need a camera crew. You don't need weeks of dedicated research time. The tools are here, they're fully multimodal, and they're ready to collaborate with you right now. So, the only question left is, what are you going to build? Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I'll catch you next time.